Hi everyone, welcome back again. So in this video I'm going to guide you on how to use Django. Let's assume you are a beginner. If you are a beginner out there, you want to learn Django, so this video is the perfect fit for you. So I'm going to break down everything from scratch. I'm going to teach you Django from 0 up to level 100, understand? So we are going to be able to spring forth a web app like this, understand? So after watching this video, you're going to be able to do something like this with Django, understand? So this video is going to be an awesome tutorial for beginners who are interested in learning Django. So without further ado, we are getting started right now. Okay guys, so as you all know, or if you don't know, Django is a Python web framework for building web applications, understand? So with Django, you can easily build up your web apps with speed, understand? So Django has made things very easy for you. So now every Django project requires a virtual environment. You might be wondering, what is a virtual environment? So a virtual environment is simply an isolated environment that helps to hold all the dependencies for your Django project, understand? So every Django project out there has some dependencies they rely on. So this virtual environment serves as a house or a container that holds these dependencies, you get. So right now I'm going to create a virtual environment and we're going to start installing some dependencies inside of this virtual environment. So let's go do that right away. So come down to your PC, look for your command prompt. You can just come here and search for CMD. It's going to come up, so click on it. Command prompt, here it is. So mine is coming up right now. So I'm going to show you how to create a virtual environment with speed, understand? So for this I do mine now. So I'm going to first of all install the virtual environment wrapper. I'm going to say pip install. Now say virtual env wrapper -win, and I'm going to say enter. So I'm going to first of all install this wrapper. Make sure you are connected to the internet, because this is going to be coming from the because right now we are trying to install from the cloud, understand? So you must be connected to the internet, understand? So right now it says requirement already satisfied. That's to tell you that okay, Clinton already has this wrapper installed. So if you don't have it, it's going to get installed for you. So once you've done this, now it's time for us to create our virtual environment. I'm going to say make virtual env. I'm going to call let me just say BENV. So so right now BENV is the name of my virtual environment. You can call yours whatever you like, understand? So I'm going to call my virtual environment BENV. So this command called make virtual env is going to help us create this virtual environment and also activate it. So I'm going to say enter right now. So right now our virtual environment is currently on the process of being created, understand? So once this is created, it's going to also get activated at the same time. Hope you understood. So let's wait for it to get created. Okay guys, we check closely now. My virtual environment has been created for me, understand? It has been created and also activated. As you can see right now, my virtual environment has been created for me. You can see on the left side, you can see the name over there, and it is also enclosed inside of a bracket, understand? So first of all, I said you have to install the wrapper. This is the line over. You have to install the wrapper. Once you're done installing the wrapper, you understand? So you're going to do this once. You're going to install the wrapper once. For me, you're going to install it once. So once you are done installing the wrapper, you then come down here and say make virtual env, and then you can call your virtual environment whatever name you like. And then this command called make virtual env is going to help you create. It's going to help you create and activate your virtual environment at one go, understand? So once you've done this, now I think we are making some progress. So now let's proceed now. So I'm going to say right now I'm going to go down to my desktop directory. Okay, before I go there, I need to install Django into this virtual environment. It's important. I need to install Django. I told you that our virtual environment is going to hold all the dependencies our project depends on, our project will need. So right now we are working with Django, and our project will absolutely need Django to function. So we're going to install Django into this virtual environment right away. I'm going to say pip install Django. So enter. So let's wait for Django to get installed into the virtual environment. So if your virtual environment is not activated, Django is going to be installed in your computer, but we don't want that to happen. We want to simply install Django into the virtual environment. So always make sure before you start any project, make sure you have your virtual environment created and also make sure it is activated instead. So that's it now. So currently Django is on the process. So currently Django is on the process of getting installed into the virtual environment. So let's just for that now. It's coming up. So currently we have Django already installed in our virtual environment. And this time we check closely now. It says successfully installed AskGref, then Django, this SQL pass, typing extension, and the rest. Understand? So Django is installed now. So right now I want to go create our Django project. Understand? So I'm going to create my own Django project in my desktop directory. So you can do the same thing. I'm going to say cd desktop. So simply now I'm trying to navigate down to my desktop directory. That's why I said cd there and then enter. So currently now I am in my I am in the desktop directory of my computer. So I'm going to create my Django project inside of the desktop directory. I'm going to say right now I want to create my Django. Right now I want to create my Django project. So let's go do that right away. Let's go do that right away. I'm going to say Django then -admin, then start project, and I'm going to call it's called project, not project. So start project, and I'm going to call this Django tutorial. Let me call it Django tutorial. So our project name is called tutorial, and I'm going to say enter. Understand? So let's wait for it to get created. So right now our Django project has been created, and it's called Django tutorial. Understand? So I'm going to say cd Django tutorial. Let's go into it and see what it looks like. Tutorial, and then enter. So I'm going to say ls. I want to see the content of this folder. Oh, okay, sorry, it's called dir, not ls. Dir. Sorry, dir, not dirs. What's wrong with me? So right now you can see the content of the folder of our Django project. This is the content. Okay, so we are making progress now. So right now I'm going to simply open this folder with VS Code, and I'm going to simply just say code and then dot. So this command is going to help us open our Django project with VS Code. And I'm going to say enter, and we're going to wait for it to get opened on VS Code. Okay, so right now our Django project has been opened on VS Code, so that's good. You're making some progress in time. So okay, once we've done this now, what's the next step for us to do now? So I'm going to explain something. I'm going to explain something to you guys. So every Django project consists of an app. Understand? So in every Django project, you are meant to have one or more apps that does a specific thing. Understand? So let's assume you're trying to build up an e-commerce web application. Understand? So in that type of Django project, you are likely to have several apps that does several things. Understand? So an app can be responsible for rendering out the product. Another app can be responsible for users. Another app can be responsible for users orders. Understand? So another app can be responsible for the cart. A separate app can be responsible for payment. Understand? So right here now we are trying to build up a blog. Understand? So we are going to have an app that's responsible for our blog posts. Hope you understood now. So we're going to create an app right away. So this is how we do it. So now, okay, now up here in this tab up here, you're going to find terminal. Currently my terminal is not here. I think it is hidden inside here. Click on terminal and then new terminal. So now this command prompt you see here, VS Code also has its own command prompt. Hope you guys understand. So right here, this I'm going to show you right now. My terminal is open, but currently I am on the PowerShell. You can see PowerShell here. Currently I want to work on the command prompt and not the PowerShell. I'm just going to come over here and click on this drop down you see here. Understand? So click on choose command prompt. Understand? So perfect now. So right now we have our command prompt also opened on VS Code. Isn't that beautiful? So that's good now. So so if we check closely now, my virtual environment has been activated for me automatically. But if yours is not activated, these are how you activate your own. If your own has not been activated, you can check closely. My virtual environment has been activated for me. But if your own is not activated, this is how you go about it. Just come over here and say work on. You say work on, and then you put in the name of your virtual environment, so which is called BENV. Enter. This command is going to help you activate your virtual environment. So right now we want to create an app that's going to be responsible for rendering out our blog posts. I'm going to say Python manage.py starts app. I'm going to call this app blog posts. Enter. So once this has been created, now if you check now on the left panel, you can see now we have an app called blog post. You can see the app here. So once you have this, now you need to go open. So right now I'm going to explain something to you guys now. So we have a folder called Django tutorial, and inside of this folder we have another folder with this same name. This is the folder over here. So this folder with the same name as your container folder, this folder you see here is called your Django project. Understand? This folder is the Django project itself. Why blog post is your app inside within your Django project. Understand? So this folder called Django tutorial is called your Django project. Blog post is called the Django app. Understand? So I'm going to open this Django project now. You can see we have some files inside of it. We have our settings files. This file is called settings.py. This file helps to hold the configuration for your Django project. It helps to hold the basic and the most important configurations for your Django project. Understand? So we have the url.py file. It helps to control everything that has to do with the page routing of your entire project. Understand? So this file called url.py has to do with the routing of your entire project, the page routing of your entire project. Understand? So we have the WSGI. This is very important. Your manage.py file is on the root directory. You're not meant to touch this file. Just leave it the way it is. So now we have our app called blog post. Now we have some files here. We have our models.py file. This file helps us to structure our database. Our views.py helps us to like present something on the front end. The views is responsible for presenting our app to the front end. So we're gonna see all those files in details now. So we are getting there now. So right now we have an app called blog post. Now you need to go register this app in your Django project instance. So we're going to come down to our settings.py file. So we're going to list this app as part of the installed apps. Understand? Here instead of your settings.py file, come down here and just say we're going to call it blog post. Understand? Blog post is very important. So now once we've done this, now we want to start our basic Django project setup now. So let's go do this right away. Okay guys, so right now let's render out some pages. Understand? So I'm going to go down to my app now, open the views.py file. So I want to render out some dummy pages for now. So I'm going to create a view. That's going to be responsible for rendering our index page. Understand? Like this page here. These are our index page over here. Okay, these are our index page. Now I'm going to create a view that's going to be responsible for rendering this index page now. So this is how we go about it. So currently, right now we are going to be working with dummy data for now. So as we progress, we're going to be using some real data in instance. So I'm going to create a function now. So I'm going to say def. So I'm going to put in that keyword there. I'm going to call this function index, and then I'm going to pass in request. Understand? So request. And once I've done this now, so I'm going to return a template. Okay. I'm going to render out a template. I'm going to say return, and then I'm going to say render, and I'm going to pass in request again, and I'm going to put in the name of my template instead. So right now I'm going to create my template inside of this blog post folder. I'm going to create a new folder inside of blog post. Yes, let's create a new folder here. Right click on it and then say new folder. I'm going to call this templates. And then I'm going to create another folder inside of templates. Now I'm going to create another folder there. I'm going to call this folder blog post. Understand? Blog post. So this helps for namespacing. So, and in this folder now, I'm going to create a new file there. I'm going to call this file index.html. Hope you understand now. So right now, in my views now, go back to your views now, I'm going to simply render out this template called index.html. Remember, Django will always look for a folder called template inside of your app. You understand? So Django already knows about this templates folder, but Django doesn't know about this other folder called blog post instead. So right now I'm going to simply I want to get down to this file, but I can only get down to this file if only Django knows about this folder called blog post. So I'm going to come over here and say blog posts / index.html. Understand? So once I've done this now, so that's it. Okay, so that's it now. Okay, once I've done this now, the same thing, I'm going to go down to my index.html. I'm going to simply pass. I'm going to simply just put in some content there. I'm going to say this is the index page. This is the index page. So we've done this already now. That's good. So now, right now, okay, I've got to show you guys something. So if I run the server now, so I want to run the server. So let's run server. So our Django app will only work if the server is running. I'm going to say run server. So we check closing now. So I'm going to say enter. So currently my Django server is running. You can see now. Whenever you see something like this, as I say, you can see it's running. It tells us that it is running at this URL. Understand? So it's running. Don't worry, it says we have 18 on applied migration, so don't worry about this. We're going to handle this later. This is not a problem. So currently my server is running, but this other site I opened there is also running on the same ports. It is also running on port 8000. Look at it here. And currently this new tutorial is also running on the same port too. So there is a clash of ports on one computer. So how do we clear out this port clash? You understand? So let's go to that right away. I'm going to run the server again. So for me to break out of the server, just use Ctrl+C to break out of the server. So currently I've broken out now, so I'm going to run that command again. Okay, now so currently now, if you want to be able to like see the previous command you've entered, just use your arrow keys. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard. You can see the previous command you've entered here. You can see now I'm seeing my arrow keys showing me the previous command I've entered. Understand? So currently now I'm going to use a separate port number. You understand? I told you that 8000. I'm told that a different project is currently running on port 8000. So I'm going to use a different port number. So I'm going to call this port number. Let's say 8001, and then we're going to run the server now again. So now, when the server is done running now, we'll be able to test now. So your server must be running before you can test what you are doing. You get? So just click on it, hold down your Control key, and then click on this URL. It's going to open it on your browser and be able to see how things are. You can see currently this is Django landing page. Understand? So this is Django landing page. So we want our own content. We don't want Django's content now. So let's go keep working. I told you now we've been able to do some rendering. Our view now is able to render out this index.html, and this file contains this h1 tag. So once we're able to render this stuff on the browser, how do we go about that? So right now we're going to create a new file inside of our blog post. I'm going to call this file urls.py. I'm going to right click on it now, new file urls.py. So now this file now is going to help hold all the routing for this app called blog post. It's going to help hold all the routing for each of the pages for this file called all the URL routing. It's going to help hold all the URL routing for each of the pages that's going to be in this app. Understand? So let's go on. So I'm going to further do some. I'm going to say from Django. I want to import some necessary commands or tools we'll be using to implement this URL routing. I'm going to say from Django.urls, from Django.url, I'm going to import paths, and I also want to import these views. Understand? This views.py. I'm going to say from. So instead of me to say from blog posts dot views, let me just say from dot. So now this will tell you that urls.py and views.py are both in the same app. So this dot tells us that they are in the same app, so there is no need to come and call the name of this folder. No, you can just simply use a dot and then say from dot. Now that's the folder, import views instead. So what I've done that now, I'm going to create a variable called URL patterns. So this is how Django works. Flow the same URL patterns is equal to. So right now I want to create a URL route for this view. You understand? So I'm going to open this to the let's open this to the right so that we can see things together. Let me close this sidebar now. Okay, I'm going to create a route now for this view. So I'm going to come here. I'm not done. I'm going to say paths. So now the route is going to be the path is going to be an empty path for now. So we're going to say it's going to be an empty path. So whenever we come down to this URL, you'll be able to see the content of this view. Let's assume I did something like home here. So whenever this will tell you that whenever we come down to /home, you'll be able to see the content of the index view. We are going to see the content of this view. You understand? Currently I'm leaving it empty. So I'm going to come over here and say views.index. Understand? So that's it. Now I'm also going to give it a name. This name is not really important, but I'm going to show you the usefulness later in this tutorial. I'm going to say name should be equal to index. You understand? So we've gotten the URL paths for this view. So Django does not know about this file called urls.py file. Django. So right now Django doesn't know about this file. Remember this file did not come with Django. We had to create this file by ourselves. So we need to tell Django. We need to tell our Django project about this file we created. So now we're going to go down to our Django's project urls.py file. Remember I said that Django tutorial here is our Django project. Why this blog post is the app. So I'm going to open this Django project now. This project already has a file called urls.py. So I'm going to open this file. So now it's opened. So I'm going to So now I need to let our Django project know about my app's url.py file. So that's it now. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come over here and put in a new path, and then I'm going to leave this as empty. So if I put in something here, let me just say, if I put in post here, so this will tell me that whenever I'm trying to access any of the URLs that comes from here, I'm always going to prefix it with post. I will always have to use post then before I come down to the so what I'm trying to say now is this. Now if I use post, if I put something here, whatever content I put here, whenever I'm trying to access any of the URLs, I might have a URL here called index now. So whenever I'm trying to access any of the URLs from here, I must always prefix those URLs with whatever I have here. Currently it is post. So before I can access any other page now, I must always have post here. Understand? Post here, and then the URL from the app, which is index. So now then I have to come and do index. Next time it must always be prefixed. So currently now I don't want this prefixing. I'm going to come over here and remove it now, and simply now I'm going to simply point to my blog post.url. So come over here and say include. Our app is called blog post now. I'm going to say blog post.urls. So that's it now. So you can say this include is showing us some sign. It's telling us activity, which if you check your terminal, it's saying that there is a name error. It says that there is a name error. Oh, sorry, no, we are coming back. It says that there is, so you can this is showing us some sign that there is a problem. So you need to import include, and we can also import include from Django.url. So I'm going to come over here and say I'm going to import include. Okay, you can see it's done. So right now our server is currently running. So I'm going to open our server now. It's showing an error. it's not meant to throw an error, right? That's because if you check closely now, we don't have, if you check here, that's because we have index here. So if I come down to slash index, you can see now it's showing me this is the index page. Let's assume I put in the post. I said here post. Now post is there now, and if I refresh this page now, it's going to throw an error. That's what you see. It's essentially, it's just always meant to throw an error. Enter. You can see now it's saying that page not found. It's until I prefix this with post and then slash index. Understand? Slash index. Oh, that should work. Slash index. Sorry, I needed to add something else here. It should be post slash. Refresh. Up, it should come up. What's happening? Okay, please don't waste my time. Okay, now you can see now it's working. Understand? So currently I don't want any of this post or index now, so I'm going to go down to my Django projects now. I'm going to remove these posts. I want it to be empty, and as for this now, I'm also going to remove this index. So they are both gone. I come back here, so remove them now and enter. Perfect. Now this is our index page. Understand? So we've been able to render out this page now. There is no styles. Everything is looking just like that. So these are to render out the page in Django. Understand? So I'm going to create one more view. Let's create a new view now. I'm going to call this detail, and I'm going to pass in requests. So I want to save time. Let's be fast now. So I'm going to simply, let me just copy this, Ctrl C, I will paste it here. So I'm going to return render. Okay, we have index.html now. We are going to create a new template now. We call this stuff templates. Open here, go down to your template folder. Remember, it is inside of your app. Go down there, template now. Instead of this blog post now, we're going to create a new file called detail.html, detail.html, and enter. So we have that now. So this is our detail. I'm going to push, come inside and just say h. So I'm going to say this is the detail. This is the detail. This is the detail page. Okay, so now make sure this is called detail.html, and if you remember, they are both in the same folder called blog post. Understand? So after you've done this now, one more thing is left. You need to go create a URL path for this view, for this detail view. You understand? So come over to your URL patterns. I'm going to come over here and put in a comma, and then we're going to say paths. This time now we are going to, right now we are not going to leave this empty. We can only have one empty path. I'm going to put in detail here, and I'm going to call it views. Our function is called views or detail. It's called detail, right? I'm going to call that now. So I'm going to say views dot detail. I'm going to also give it a name. I'm going to call this now. Let's just call it detail. So now, what does this tell you? It tells us that whenever you come down to slash detail, you'll be taken down to this template called detail.html. So let's go try that now. So let's go down to slash detail. Because I said that this is the detail page. So this is working fine. So now one thing is left now. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to explain something to you now. So if we check out this site we have here, you can see we have this header, and we also have the footer. So if you check, so I'm going to go down to different pages now. I'm going to go down. So currently I am on a different page, and we still have this header and this footer. You can see this header and footer, they are on every pages, on all the pages. So I'm going to show you how to implement this header and footer stuff now. So now this is how we do it here. Okay, this is how we do it. Okay, so right here I can simply come over to our blog post instead of the template folder, and then I'll create a new template file that's going to hold the header and the footer. Or I can simply decide not to create it inside of this template. I can come out here and create this our template folder, whichever way works. Understand? So for now, okay, so I'm going to show you guys both ways now. So I'm going to say I'm going to create a new folder outside of our blog post. I'm going to call it templates. And instead of this folder, it's called template, right? Templates. Enter. So instead of this folder, now I can come over here and create a new file that's going to hold the header and the footer. Understand? So this is how it goes now. So now currently Django does not know about these templates. Django is always expecting your templates to be inside of your app. Just like we have here, it expects your template to be inside of your app. But currently our template is outside, it's standing on its own. So Django does not know about this folder. So you need to let Django know about it. So we're going to go down to our settings.py file, settings file, just scroll down to this template section. We have these directories now. We're going to simply tell Django about this folder called templates by coming here and saying base underscore directory slash the name of the folder, which is called templates. You know, instead of a double or a single quotes, templates. You understand? So this is how you do it. And so this base directory you see here, it comes from the top. The base directory you see there, you can see it comes from here. It says for you to build paths, use your base directory and then the name of the folder. You can see where it comes from. Understand? So Django is very easy for you to follow. Understand? So just really take your time to learn it. So this tutorial is gonna be a great guide for you if you are new to Django. So right now I have this template now base.html. So right now Django now knows about our template. Perfect. Okay. So we are still on it now. So right now I'm gonna create. So right now these are our base.html. So I'm going to come here and say, okay, I'm going to say h1. I'm going to say header, and then I'm going to put in h2 for the footer. So what I'm trying to say now is that this header and footer, they are meant to be on every pages. So Django now meant to be on every pages now. So you don't have to go and start putting header and footer on the index page, detail page. You understand? Your site can have up to like 10 pages. Understand? So you don't want to go and be putting header and footer on each of these pages one by one. That's gonna be very redundant. We don't do that. Hope you get now. So with this approach now, you can simply specify your header and footer in a single file, in a template, and then we're going to simply link this template to our other templates. We're going to make our other template inherit this header and footer. So I'm going to show you how it is being done. So this is it now. So over here, so right now this is how it is now. So this header and footer, we want it to be inherited by all other templates. Understand? So this is how we did it now. So we're going to come over here now. This is how it's going to be now. We're going to say block content. So I'm going to call it so whatever name you like is fine. I called my content. So now this is how it's going to be now. So we're going to have our header, we're going to have our footer, and we're going to have the other templates in between. Inside, it's going to be inside of them, in between. That's how it is. You understand? So that's how it is. So it's going to be in between. You get now. So I'm going to make my index and my detail page inherit from this base.html. So how do we go about that? So for the index page now, I'm going to at the top now, I'm going to simply just want to say extends. Now this extends now simply helps to inherit. So now while you're working on your templates, while you're working on the index page, there is an extension you need to go and install. This extension is called Ginger. It's used for Django templates. Understand? So go down to your extension panel on the left, click on it now, and search for Ginger, Ginja. Ginger. Oh, I think my network is down. So let me go turn off my network. So as I was saying, we need to install this extension called Ginger. Hope my network works this time. So I'm going to say Ginger, Ginja. So Ginger, Ginja. So you make sure you install this Django extension called Ginger. Understand? So with this extension, click on it now. Currently I have it installed. So this extension, you can easily write HTML in your Django. You can easily use your Django templates. Understand? So over here now, I'm going to just say extend. So so right now I'm trying to make sure you have this template installed. For me, I already have it installed. That's why it's saying uninstall. Hope you get. So make sure you have it installed. You get. So it has over 7 million downloads. That's awesome. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now so right now we're going to inherit from base.html. Base, understand? So base.html. So after we've done that now, so also remember this base.html has this block content. We're also going to implement this block content inside of our index page. We're going to say block content also block content, and make sure it's of the same name as that of your base templates. I'm going to simply cut this now and put inside of the block. Yeah, that's how it should be. We'll do the same thing for our detail page. I can also inherit from there. Inherit, going to say extend, and then we're going to say base.html. I'm also going to use the block content. I'm going to copy this guy, cut and paste inside. So now let's run. You can see currently our server is down. Let's run the server again. Enter. So our server is back again. So the browser now. Let's test out things. Once I refresh this page now, refresh. Right now you can see it has the header, it has the footer. I go down to my home page, the same thing. You can see it has the header, it has the footer. Okay, so I think I'm making some progress now. So right now I'm going to use the actual template. So I'm using some dummy content to just show you some stuff. You get. So next now we're going to use the actual templates for each of these pages. So let's do that right away. Okay guys, so right now I'm using the bootstrap templates now. So this is the code that makes up the index.html. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is it over here. This is a dummy site. Instead, all you see here are all static. So right now what I want to do is I want to just get this header with the left side. This search bar is going to be in the base.html. The search bar, the header and the footer will all be in the base.html. But as for these blog posts, each of them and this header is going to be in the index page. You understand? So right now I want to just copy out this section, the header and the blog post for the index page. But this header, the sidebar, and the footer will all be in the base template. So let's go copy them right away from this code. So this nav bar, you don't need this nav bar. That's going to be in the base.html. So let's get the header. I'm going to go down to the header. Once I get to the sidebar, I'll just stop, and then pagination. Do we need it? Okay, let's just copy pagination for now. So you can see we have the side widget down there. So I'm going to stop up there. Ctrl C. Copy this now. Once I've copied it now to down to the index.html for my blog post, I'm going to simply replace this guy. Now paste this. Okay, this is what I want now. I've pasted it there. So we are not done. So I'm going to do the same thing for my. Okay, right now just come over here, and then I'll copy the header and the footer for my base.html. Okay, I'm going to start down from nav down to the top. Ctrl C. Where's the base.html? I'll paste that here. Paste. Understand? So I'll go down and copy the footer. I'll start from the sidebar downwards. Okay. Sidebar down to our footer. Copy. I hope this makes sense. Okay, where are you? Am I pasting this? That should be in the base.html. So I'll replace this footer and I'll paste this. Okay, I think I'm making some progress. So this is the header section. This is the footer section. So let's go see what our index page looks like. Enter, refresh. Okay, making quite some sense, but it's looking ugly. We've not added some styles yet. So before I add these styles, let's go and copy the ones for our detail page instead. Let me go down to /detail. Let's see detail page right away. You can see this is the header, our sidebar, and the footer. The detail page is just this. Let's go get the actual detail page for this. Okay, so right now this is the code for our detail page. Now, so let me just start copying from the page content, just downwards till I'm going to stop at this. Okay, I'm going to stop at the side widgets. Copy. Where's the detail.html? Where are you? I'm going to simply replace this. Paste. Okay, now everything is fine now. So if you check now, the page is not looking good at all. Refresh this. It's looking ugly. So so right now we need to add our CSS. So now this is how we do that now. So okay, join me. So now I'm going to close this now. Now make this big again, the font size. Let's make it big so you can see things clearly. So I'm going to create I'm going to configure our styles now. So okay, now so Django, by default Django looks for your static files inside of your app. Understand? So you can decide to make it inside. You can decide to create your static files inside of the app, or you can decide to do it outside of the app. So I'm going to show you now. So if you want to do it inside of the app, just create a folder called static inside of your app. But right now I'm going to do it outside because I want to show you how it's done. I want to show you how it's done in both ways. Understand? So I'm going to create this folder outside. I'm going to say new folder, static. So it has been created outside. So I need to let Django know about this folder, because by default Django is expecting you to create this static folder inside of your app. But if you decide to do it outside, that's fine. You simply need to let your Django project know about where this file is. Understand? You need to let your Django project know about it if you decide to create this folder outside of your Django project or outside of the app. But if it's inside, Django is fine with it. Django already knows about it. So currently now it's outside of our app. So I want to go tell Django about it. I'm going to just scroll down to my static session. Just here, I'm going to create a variable called static files underscore dirs. That is directories. I'm going to create an array or a list in Python. I'm going to just say base directory / name of the folder. Folder is called static, right? Static. It should be in small letter. That's it. So right now Django knows about this static folder. That's it. So once I'm done now, so okay, this is the folder. So okay, now this is the. Oh, let me make this big. These are the files. This folder are the files that beautifies that template. So I told you that this is a bootstrap template, right? I'm going to I'll just drag and drop these guys. Let me drag them into our static folder. So this is a static folder here. Okay, now I've been able to drag and drop it inside there. I think that's fine. Okay, so now we have those folders inside of our static folder. So right now it's time for us to now go and link this CSS file to our templates. So I'm going to show you now. So let's go down to our base.html. If you go to the top of the page now, you can see where we have our CSS linked, where we have the favicon, the favicon icons linked. Okay, so now it's time for us now to link it. So it's time for us to link it the Django way. Understand? So right now, this is our CSS link in here. Okay. So right now I'm going to put this inside of curly braces. This is how Django does its own curly braces, and then the % on both sides. Perfect. Now, so we're going to have our folder is called static, right? The folder that houses all our CSS and JavaScript. The folder is called static. I'm going to put the name of the folder outside. I'm going to call it static. I'm going to put the remaining ones of this. Remember, I'm going to put these guys inside of a single quote. Remember, we're using this double quote outside. You have to use a single quote inside. The same thing applies for our favicon. I'm going to put this inside of a double curly braces, % on both sides. I'm going to put these guys inside of a single quote, and then we're going to have static outside. Understand? That's the folder static. Perfect. Understand? The same thing for our JavaScript. Let's scroll down to the end. Remember, this JS is a folder which we have here instead of our static folder. So I'm going to put this guy inside of the single quote. Let's put in curly braces first. percent sign, and then the single quotes, and then we're going to have static. I think this is what we need to do. Once we've done this now, at the top we are going to simply load static up here. Let's say load static. You have to put this thing there, load static itself. Yeah, so let's do this now. Let's see how it turns out. I hope it comes out well. So if you refresh this page, enter. Hope our server is not down. Okay, our server is down. Let's run server, enter. Let's wait for our server to come up. Okay, our server is up again. Refresh. It says invalid block tag on line 15. What could be the problem? Called, okay, let's see line 15. This is line 15. That should be on our base.html. Let's go into our base.html, line 15. Oh, there's a problem there because there is too much space here. The space between this and this. So I'm going to clear that space now. Okay, and I'm going to put in, yeah, this should work over here. Work, yeah. Refresh. Oh, you can see how it came out. This is our detail page looking beautiful. Understand that because we've added some CSS. Let's go down to our index page. Perfect, perfect. It's looking good, right? Isn't it? Okay, now so right now I'm able to render out the perfect template now. So right now it's time for us to go start creating content for our blog, for our website. So let's go do that right away. Okay guys, as I said before, now it's time for us to go create some content for our blog website instead. So go down to your code now, to your, where is it called? Okay, down to your app. Inside of your app there's a file called models.py. Go down to your app, blog post, open the file. There's a file called models.py. So I'm going to close some of these files you're not using. Close your base templates, detail, index, URLs. For now we don't need them. So right now I want to go create. So right now we're going to structure our database from here. So I'm going to create a table. This table is going to be called blog. I'm going to say class blog. So right now I have a table called blog. So it's going to simply inherit from models.model. So now right now we're going to now, so now this is a table now. So this table now, this is a blog. So think of a blog. What are the features of a blog? A blog has a title. A blog has the body. A blog has the date it was created. A blog has a slug, understand? So a blog has some extra, the writer of the blog, the number of likes this blog post has, and a lot of other features. A blog also has the thumbnail, the image that's for example, this is a thumbnail over. Let me show what the thumbnail looks like. So this is a thumbnail. So currently this is a thumbnail. So let's go down to the home page. So this is a thumbnail. These are thumbnails for a blog. These pictures are thumbnails instead. So let's go create all these features for the blog in the sense. So I'm going to call, so the first one is called title. Okay, we're going to say title now. Title, I'm going to say should be equal to models.character field. I'm going to say char field. After we might have said char field, the char field always has this important argument called max length. This is going to tell you the number of characters this title can accommodate. So I'm going to just say, let's say 50. So your title can go beyond 50 characters. So that's what it means. So I'm going to say the body. I'm going to use a text field there. I'm going to say models or text field. Okay, as for the slug now, I'm going to put in a slug. I'm going to say models or slug field. I'm going to show what the slug looks like later. I'm going to say unique should be true. Unique should be equal to true. That's how to tell you that no two blogs can have the same slug. That's what it's trying to tell you. Okay, and what else again do we need to add? Okay, let's add our thumbnail, the image for the blog. So I'm going to say image. We got to models dot image field. And it's going to have one attribute called upload to. I'm going to say upload to. I'm going to call it img. So this upload to means this is a folder. So our images will be uploaded to a folder called img. So this folder will be created automatically when you try to upload an image. So I'm also going to set this to blank. I'm going to say blank should be equal to true and null should be true. So this one tells us that even if you do not add an image to your blog, Django is going to also accept the creation of the blog. So I'm trying to say that I'm trying to say that not all image must necessarily have, not all blog posts must have an image. So with this blank and true, not all blog posts must have an image. So if I remove this now, it's going to simply mean that all blog posts must have an image. So for example, this title now, currently now, you see there is no blank or there is no null there. This one will tell you that every blog post you create must always have a title. All this blank, all this title is telling you because it does not have this blank and true, this blank and null. You understand? It has it, but by default they are false. Understand? So currently, if you set it to true, you can create your blog without adding a title. But since it is not true in the title or the slug or body, that will tell you that before you can create a blog, you must provide values for your title, for your body, and also for the slug. But for the image now, it's not a must you pass an image instead. So that's why I also set blank to true and not to true. That because it's going to accept the creation of the blog post without having you to add an image. You get? So that's what's happening there. So just after I added this image field, there is an error that says we need to install pillow. So this pillow helps in image processing in Django. You understand? So right now we need to go install this dependency, this package for our Django project to work effectively. So we need to install this package called pillow. So let's go do that right away. So right now we are going to break out of the server, Ctrl C, and we're going to say pip install pillow. Enter. So it's going to install pillow for us. So make sure you have your virtual environment activated. Understand? So once you've done this now, I want to go at the time this blog was created. We're going to say created should be equal to, so currently pillow is being installed. So it has been installed successfully. Perfect. So we're going to say created now. This is going to tell us the time our blog was actually created. So I'm going to say created should be equal to models dot date field, and I'm going to say auto underscore now underscore add should be equal to true. So what this does is that whenever our blog post is created, it's going to get the dates that blog was created. So all this auto now add does is this. Now it helps to capture the dates our blog was created automatically. It helps to capture the dates our blog was created for us. You understand? So this is done now. So as we've done this now, I'm going to also create a string function here. I'm going to say def. So this string function, I'm going to show what it helps do, what it does for us now. I'm going to just simply return the title. I'm going to say return self.title. Okay, now so I'm going to explain what this string function does. So we have that already. But before now it's time for us to make migrations. Before I make migrations, I want to go and configure. Do some configuration for our image upload. In this time, we have some uploading to do over here for our image. So let's go add the configuration for it. Okay, so right now I'm going to go down to my settings.py file. So this image you see here is what we call user uploaded files, because this image you see is going to be uploaded by the user. Understand? So we call this media files. You get? So I'm going to go down to the settings.py file. Okay, I'm going to just go down to the static, to this part here. Okay, so now we're going to create a new URL called media underscore URL, and it's going to point down to, I want to say it's similar to our static URL configuration. So I'm going to just say media yeah, like this. Then I'm gonna say media root, and I'm gonna say maybe base directory / media. So this is gonna be the URL to access our media files. Why? This media root is gonna simply this media root now. This media itself, when I highlighted now, it's gonna be the folder that helps to all these images when we upload them. So once you've done this now, we're not done yet. Go down to your app URLs.py file. To your app URLs.py file. So I'm gonna come over here and say URL patterns. Before you proceed, URL patterns should be plus equal to, we're gonna say static. So we have static there, and they're gonna say settings dot media underscore URL. So we are trying to point out to our settings to this media URL and media roots instead. So, and they are coming from our settings.py file. That's why you can see we are saying settings.media URL, and we're going to come over here and say document underscore roots should be equal to settings dot media underscore roots instead. So also done this now, we are going to simply import static and settings. So I'm going to come over here and say from Django.conf, we're going to say import settings, and then we're going to say import static. I'm going to say from Django.conf.urls.static, we're going to import static. Okay, I think that's done. Let's run the server one more time. Okay, let's run server. Okay guys, so we're done with creating our table. As I said before, the blog is called a table, while the title, the body, the slug are the columns in the table, and the value for the title, value for the body, value for the slug, those are the rows in the table, you understand? So whenever you make a change to your table, you are required to run a command called make migrations, you understand? So let's do that right away. So this command now is going to prepare, it's going to get our database ready to accept this new table we've created, understand? So the command is called python manage.py. I'm going to say make migrations. So if you've gained some value so far, smash the subscribe button. It's free of charge, it's free, and also like this video. So when you've run the make migrations command, you are going to also run another command called migrate. So this command is going to apply the migrations you've done. So I'm going to say python manage.py migrate. So okay, so now it's going to get migrated. So now currently it's migrating. So once it's done migrating, we're going to continue. So okay, I think the migrations are over. So if we check closely, go down to your app now. If you go down to your app, you see there's a folder called migrations. Let me just make this big enough. So this is quite too big, but so we're going to manage the screen and continue. So as I was saying before, on your app there's a folder called migrations. So this folder is going to hold all your migrations you've made. You can see now we have this file called 0001 underscore initial.py. So this file holds the migrations we've made so far. So we've made just a single migrations, and these are the changes we've made to our table, you understand? So okay, we're going to leave this and continue for now. Let's just proceed. So we've made migrations now, so we want to go and start creating this blog post in our Django admin. So I'm going to run server now. Let me run the server. So server is going to come up right now. Okay, so our server is currently running now. Right now our server is up and running, so I'm going to go down to /admin. So okay, so currently this is the admin interface. So now before you can gain access, you must have a super user created, you understand? So this is Django admin. Only admin users can access the Django admin. So currently there is no user. If I try logging in now, let's see, we can't access this page because okay, Sorry, this is the wrong domain. Remember, it's 8001. 8001. Now, if I try accessing it, so let's wait for it. So if I try accessing this now, it's going to throw an error because we've not created a super user that can access this admin. So right now, let's go create a super user now. So I'm going to break out of the server. Open. Okay, so I'm going to say Python manage.py create super user. Create super user. Okay, so I'm going to say client. I'll simply skip the email address. I'm going to provide the password, and then just say yes. Okay, understand? So right now a super user has been created, understand? So you put in your username, you can skip the email address for now. You put in your password, you confirm the password, and once you are here, you can simply just say yes. And then once you've said that, Y stands for yes, N for no, you get. So and now your password for now, you can put in whatever password you like. Can be as simple as anything, can be any characters. You understand? It's going to accept your password in whichever way you put it. You understand? So once you're done now, we're going to run server again. Okay, our server is going to come up again. So our server is up. So now let's try logging in again. Let's log in. Okay, now so we've logged in. I can see this is the Django admin. So now before we do anything now, so you can see we have a table called blog. We want to be able to access this blog on our Django admin. You understand? So currently we only have the groups and users. We want to also have this blog in the Django admin. It's from there we can start creating blog posts that we are going to render on our front end. You understand? So okay, now so how do we get this table to be registered on this Django admin? Okay, it's simple. You go down to in your file now. In your Django app there is a file called admin.py. So look for your Django app is called blog posts. Open admin.py. So now we are going to register the blog table. You understand? So it is inside of our models.py, this blog. So and we check closely, admin and model.py are in the same folder. They are from the same app called blog posts. Okay, now so I'm going to simply do what? I'm going to simply import this blog into the admin section. I'm going to say from .models import blog. Understand? So I'm over here. Let me just say admin size. Right now I need to register this table called blog. I'm going to say admin.sites.register. I'll simply say blog. Understand? So I go down to once my server is done loading, I think continue to the browser. So if I refresh this page now, you can see now we have our blogs now. If I click on it, okay, I want to add some blog posts. If I click on add blog, so right here I can add the blogs I want to add. Understand? I can say backend development with Django. Understand? So and then I can put in the body. So one thing is this now. This is our slug. I want to make sure that our slug gets pre-filled with the title of what we set here. So this slug is going to be important. I'm going to show you where we are going to use the slug later. So I want to make sure our slug gets pre-filled with the title. So we're going to do something now. So right now, let's go make the stuff work. Go down to your admin.py. And I'm going to come over and say class. I'm going to say blog admin. I'm going to say admin. We're going to simply inherit from admin.model admin. Once I've done this now, I'm going to come down here and say prepopulated fields should be equal to a dictionary. I'm going to set the slug. The slug is going to be equal to the title. Understand? Or if I forget, this title needs to be inside of a tuple. Understand? Okay, and then we're going to put in the So once you've done this now, we're going to simply register this blog admin alongside this blog. I'm going to come over here and put a comma. I'm going to say blog admin. So once you've done this now to the browser, okay, let's refresh the stuff. Okay, now if I say backend, you can see now as I'm typing, the slug is also getting prefilled. I'll say backend web development. As I'm typing, the slug is also getting prefilled, you understand? So okay, so it's working. So now for the body, now we're going to use some lorem ipsum. Let's use lorem ipsum. Okay, let me just open this and copy some lorem ipsum code for the body. Okay, let's just start from this. Let's just use this. Don't you see? Okay, we just paste it here. So I'm going to add an image for this. Or let's pick something fast. I think I don't need to waste time with this. I'm going to pick any random image I see. So we're going to work. So okay, I'll go with this. Open. So I'll click on save. Understand? So I'm going to add another blog. I'm going to say front end web development. Paste that here. I'll paste here. Choose a file for our thumbnail. So if I'm going to choose anything to save time, I'm going to save, and then let's add one more. Let's call this one full stack web development. Okay, and I'll click open and then save. So once we've done this now, once we render out this page on our, once we render out the page, once render, currently we have dummy data here. So let's go and render out these blogs articles we have here. Okay, so right now let's render out all the blogs on the index page. So go down to your views.py. Okay, now we're going to import the blog table. We're going to say from .models import blog, and then we're going to come down to the index page now, because this on the index page we want to list out all the blogs we have. We're going to say blogs should be equal to blog dot objects dot all. So we're going to pass this into a dictionary. We're going to call that dictionary context, and then we're going to say blogs should be equal to this blog we have here. You understand? So we're going to say blogs. Then we are going to pass this context into this return statement. We're going to say context here. So this context has to pass data to our template. This context here, the has to pass data to our template, and we're going to pass the context of this return state to this return command. You are meant to pass this context to the return command, which we've done here. Okay, now so I'm going to go down to my index.html. Okay, I think it's here. Okay, so I'm going to remove this part of this. For this, I'm going to remove this featured posts. We don't need it now. I'm going to work with only this small post we have here. Okay, so now I think I can find the featured post. I think it's this part. Featured posts. Okay, I'm going to clear it off. I think it's gone. The browser, refresh the page. Okay, it's gone now. So now, right now, I'm going to use this one now. Okay, so over here now, what I'm going to do next, I only need one of these boxes. So we're going to use the for loop from Django to like create more boxes based on the number of blog posts we have in our database. Understand? Okay, now so let's continue. Okay, now so I'm going to simply reduce the size of this so I can simply get out some unnecessary contents. Okay, so let's start right away. So now if we check closely now, we have like 3 rows. Row 1. Okay, we have row 1 and row 2. So I'm going to remove one of the rows now. going to remove one of the rows. Okay, I think I'm going to remove this. Let's remove. It's removed now. Okay, and in this row now, I've removed one of the rows now. Let's see. Oh no, it's not what I did. I did the wrong thing. Okay, go back here. Okay, I think I was correct the other time. Let's continue. We're going to remove one of this now. Remove it. Okay, it's gone. So if you refresh this page now, let's see what the page looks like. Refresh. Okay, now we only have it on one side. Okay, we are not done. Let's go back here. Okay, make this. Okay, now so scroll up again. So now I'm going to remove one of those log posts. Remove one of it. It's out of the way. Remove. Okay, we only have one this time left. Okay, we keep pushing, and this time around now I'm going to simply duplicate this one. Ctrl C, and if I duplicate it, let's see how it's going to look like. Paste, refresh. Perfect. Okay, now so I've got something I want to see. So right now, as I said before, these blogs you see here, it holds these blogs now. It holds all the blogs we have in our database. You understand? It holds every block we have in our database now, and this context helps us pass this block to this template called index.html. The context here helps us to pass the blocks to this template you see here. You understand? So once we got there now, so we're going to go down to our index.html, which is this now, and then we're going to loop through these blogs. Because these blogs, there are about 3 of them, so we're going to loop through each of them. We're going to loop through this. This is a query set, so we're going to loop through this. We're going to loop through this query set to get access to the individual blog, and then render these blogs on the index.html template. So we're going to come over here. Okay, just here now. Just say for. We'll use the for. We use the for statement. Put in your curly braces the % sign on both sides. I'm going to say for blog in blogs. So these blogs you see here is coming from our views, which refers to these blogs. This key, the key, and not this value. This is the key we're referring to. Can you say for blog in blogs now? So remember we have 3 blogs. So once you send this now, you must close this for loop. We must close the for loop. I'm going to come down here and say use the end for loop. End for should be. Understand? So now let's see. We are going to have like 3 of these boxes. Refresh. You can see we have 3 of them. That's because we have 3 blog posts in our database. Understand? So okay, let's continue. So now I'm going to simply put in the contents of the blog. Understand? So okay, just here, over here, I'm going to simply just come over here and put in the image of the blog. Remember, I'm going to call it blog dot image. Remember, the image is coming from here, image, and then I'm going to say this blog you see here. Right now, this blog represents the individual blog in this query set called blogs. This blog refers to the individual blog in the query set called blogs. So I'm going to say blog.image and then .url, because I'm trying to get we are trying to get the URL of the image, not the image itself. You get? So if we refresh, let's see if it works. Okay, now I can see now we've gotten each of the images for the blog post. Now I'm going to pass in the date this blog was created and also the title. Okay, now over here we're going to say blog.created. That's going to give us the date this blog was created, and for the title we are going to come here and say blog.title, and for the body we are going to move this guy and say blog.body. So let's see what it looks like. Ouch, you can see now it's looking good. The title, the date this blog was created, everything is there, but there's a problem now. This body is too long. You're not meant to see the whole body in the index page. You want to like truncate, this and render like 100 or 50 characters. So you're going to come over here, and for the blog.body we are going to use a template tag instead. So you put in this first, and then we are going to use a truncate tag. I'm going to call it truncate characters, and then we are going to simply render out the 100 characters and not the whole characters. So if I refresh this, you can see now rather it's render out the first 100 characters and not everything. So this is our home page now. It's looking kind of good. So the next thing to do now, I want to click on our detail page so you can read more on a blog and also add comments to a blog post. Let's go and do that right now. Okay guys, so next thing to do now, let's go work on the detail page of this blog, the detail page where you can read more on a particular blog post. So, okay, over here now we're going to get each of, we are going to work on the detail view. So right now we're going to get each of these blog posts by their slug. I'm going to say blog.object.get slug. So right now we're getting the blog by their slug. Understand? So I'm going to say get slug equal to this what we have up here. This is what we have up here is simply a parameter. I'm going to just say slug equal to slug. Understand? So once we've gotten this now, so right now we're getting our blog based on the slug. Understand? So right now we're getting these blocks individually. Understand? Remember I said our slugs are going to be unique, so you cannot have any slug that exists. So you cannot have two slugs with the same content. Understand? They must be different. If it's not if it occurs that a slug is trying to have the same slug as a different blog post, it's not going to create that blog. Understand? So okay, now we've done this. Now we're going to get our context again. I'm going to say blog. Okay, now pass this context to this return command. Okay, now before you proceed now, we're not done. Okay, so we're going to go down to our URLs. Because of we have this slug here, we are also going to pass that to our URL. Okay, just here now, instead of saying detail, I can say detail right now, just say slash. Now say slug. Understand? So this slug is here, this other slug, the second slug is coming from this our view, this one we have in this view function. Why the first slug is simply helping us to convert the content of this slug to an actual slug. Understand? Okay, now we've gotten this now, we're not done. So once we've done this now, next thing to do now is this. Okay, we're going to go down to our index.html. Remember we have this read more button. So right now in the read more button now, this read more button, we use it here. I'm going to simply put the URL for our detail page in that read more button. The URL for a detail page, which is this. Understand? This what I highlighted. But with this name attributes, you can access the same URL easily. This name attribute has made it super easy for us to be able to access our actual URL without having to copy this whole thing and go put there. So we're going to use this name value we have here. Okay, we'll come down to the index.html and we're going to pass that detail that we got from here. Understand? This I'm going to use this now. So because there are times that this URL can be so long, so you can't just come and be copying and be adding and changing. With this now, you can easily have access to this long stuff, because this is not even that long self. With this, you can easily have access to this long URL. So I'm going to use this detail over here to access our detail page. Okay, go down to your index.html, this href. Okay, I'm going to put in the URL and then I'm going to say detail. Perfect. Now this detail is coming from this name value. This one here, this one I'm highlighting here. Okay, I'm also done that now. Because of we also want to access, we are trying to access individual blogs, so I'm going to also pass the blog slug. I'm going to say blog.slug. I'm just going to go down to your templates now, refresh this page and click on each or any of these. Click on this. You can see now it takes us down. You can see this is what I call slug. This highlighted part I said, this is what I call a slug. You can see it says detail/backend web development. If you go down to the home page again, if you click on full stack development and read more, you can see it says detail/ this what I highlighted now is the slug. So now we're using this blog to redirect our blog to their actual detail page. So I'm going to come down to my detail.html, where are you? Okay, now over here, I'll come here and put in the blog.title. Remember, we've passed the content of this blog into this template from our view. Understand? This blog has been passed to this template through this context we have here. Understand? Okay, now I'm going to say blog.title, and we're going to put in the date this blog was created. I'm going to say blog.created, and then come down here, and we're going to put in the thumbnail for the blog. We'll say blog.image.url. Okay, right now this is the body of the blog. I can decide to, I'm going to just leave this body like that, leave this body the way it is. Okay, if I refresh this page, you can see we have the title, the date the blog was created, so the thumbnail, but I'll leave the body like this. Just leave the body, because the body we are also going to use is also a dummy body. So let's just leave this body like the way it is. But you can see we have our title, the blog image, and the date the blog was created. Understand? So now, right now, let's assume. So how do I go back to the home page? I don't want to use this back button. I want to be able to use this logo up here to go back to the home page. So over to the, I'm going to come over to my. So you can find this logo on our base.html. Go down to your base.html. You can see where we have this start bootstrap. Over here now, I'm going to simply use this name attribute, this index, and not this empty stuff. I'm going to use this index now to access our index page. Okay, to our home page, whichever one you call it, is the same thing. So I'm going to come over here. I'll say URL. I will say index. So close the browser, refresh, and if I click on this, oh, any mistake there. Oh, this, move that exclamation mark, refresh. Now click back on this. Oh, what is this? Click on this, click back. Okay, so it's working now. So our index and detail page are both working. So the next thing I want to do now, I want to be able to add comments. I want to be able to send comments from. We want to be able to add comments to our blog post. So let's go do that right away. Okay, so now let's be able to add comments to our blog post. Let's add some comments. You get. So go down to your code again, to your model.py file. I'm going to add a new table. I'm going to call this. Okay, you can see I said before, this seller title is responsible for showing us the title of the blog in the blog admin. Understand? That's what that self.title is doing there. So if I remove it now, we're going to see some gibberish. We're going to see some things you don't understand. So now it's commented. Now go down to the browser, refresh this. It's coming back. You can see what you have here. But with that string function, we can simply return a better representation of our blog rather than having this blog object 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put this back. Okay, now let's create a new table called comments. I'm going to say class comment, and we're going to say models.model, and then we're going to simply, now this comment is going to have a field called description. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to say model should be, it's called description. I'm going to say should be called to models.text field. And right now, remember, our comments on our blog are going to be related in one way instead. So every blog post is meant to have a list of comments. A blog post is meant to have a list of comments. So this is what we call a one-to-many relationship, whereby the blog is one and the comment is the many. A blog post having many comments, that's a one-to-many relationship, and it's also called the foreign key relationship. So we are going to link the blog and the comment together now. So remember, we have the one is the blog, while the comments is the many. So under the many is on. So where we have the many, that's where we are going to create this relationship. Is where we have is in the many section. We are going to create this relationship. Now I'm going to come over here and say blog, or blog should be equal to models of ForeignKey. We are going to say models dot ForeignKey, and we're going to link down to this blog. Understand, blog. So we're going to say blog over here, and then I'm going to overcome. Also done it now. I'm going to say on delete. So this, I'm going to say what on delete does now. This, I'm going to say on delete now means that whenever I delete a particular blog, what should happen to the relationship it has. For example, now our blog has a relationship with the comments. Understand? So whenever I delete a blog, what do you think should happen to the comments? I also want the comments to also get deleted. Once I delete a blog, I want to make sure that all the comments for that blog gets deleted. So I'm going to use the, so whenever I use the on delete now, I'm going to say models or cascade. So what this does is that whenever I delete a particular blog, it's going to make sure that all the comments for that blog goes with it. So models or cascade. So that's it. I'm going to put a related name now. So with this related name, we can access these comments from this table, from the blog table. With the related name, we can access the comments from this blog table. So I'm going to come over here and say related name. I'm going to say comments. So I can say blog.comments. You can see now this like with this related name now, I can access the comments from the blog table. So I'm going to call it comments. I'm going to say comments. Okay, so most of this now, I think it's making sense. I'll come over here and say the title string. I'm going to just say self, and I'll say return self dot description. Okay, so we've done that already. So the next thing to do now is to make migrations. So right now, let's make some migrations. I'll say python main.py make migrations, and then let's migrate. Okay, now let's run a server. So it's coming up. So why is coming up now? Let's go register this comment. We go down to the comments admin now. If you refresh here, we can't see the comments. Now let's go and so you need to register this table in your admin.py. Go down to your admin.py now. Where is it? I have a lot of stuff opened here. I'm going to close them. So here's our admin.py. I'm going to come over here and say admin. So you need to import the comments is from .models also. I'm going to say comments. Now I'm going to say over here admin.site.register. I'm going to say comments, and down to your browser, refresh, and you can see you have comments now. So we are not okay now. Right now, how do we add this comment to the blog itself? How do we do that now? So let's go and add. Once we add the comments, so we want users to be able to like be the one adding the comments by themselves here and then submitting and gets added. So how do we add it now? So let's go and do that right away. Hey guys, so before we start adding these comments from the front end, we are going to add some of these comments on the Django admin. So before I click on comments, add comments. So I'm going to pick a particular blog post now. I'm going to say backend web development. Something is missing. Refresh. We are meant to. We can't find the description. So something is missing. We need to. I don't seem to see the description. Oh, it's called text field. Put a parenthesis there. So if I refresh this page now, refresh. Okay, let's make migrations again. Go back again. Okay, now it's there now. So I'm going to say, this is a great article. This is a great article. So I'm going to choose backend development and save. Okay, remember I made a change to this. So whenever you make a change to your models.py, whenever you make a change in your table, make sure you make migrations again. So let's make the migrations now. Okay, now I'm going to set blank equal true and null equal true. So whenever you have something like this, just come over here and add blank equal true, null equal true. Choose the second option, which is 2, put in 2 there and enter. And after you might have done this, now make sure you put in blank to true and null to true for the field it's talking about. So if you check closely, right now it's talking about the description field up here. Instead, so just pick the second value, the second option, which is 2, and once you have done that, go down to the field it is referring to, and then put in blank true, null true. And once you've done this, now make migrations again and then migrate. And this time run server. Now refresh this page. I'm going to say this is beautiful. So beautiful. Choose the backend. Save. Let's add another comment. This is nice. I'm going to choose backend. Save. Let's add another one. I'm going to say this is. Oh, I'm going to say I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Choose front end and then save. So right now we have 3 comments. Now we have 2 of these comments for the backend post, for the backend web development post, and 1 of the comments for the front end. So now our comments were added on the backend. Our comments were added from our Django admin. So now let's go and render these comments in our detail page. So go down to your views now. Remember that the comments are going to be rendered in this on the detail page, right? Okay, to your views now, we're going to come over here and say comments. Comments should be equal to, I'm going to say blog dot comments dot all. So I told you before, these comments you see here, let me spell the comments well. This comment you see here is coming from, let me show you where it's coming from. It came from here. I told you that if you use this, whenever I use this related name, this blog can access this other table because of this. Understand? These comments you see here. Understand? So that's why we can see we have blog.comments.all. So we're going to pass these comments into our context. I'm going to say comments. Okay. Run your server. Whenever your server is broken, make sure you run the server again. Okay, server is coming back up. So while it's coming up now, I want to go and render this comment on our blog on the detail page, right? So I'll scroll down to where we have the blog section. Okay. So right now, this is the comment section from here. So so now we check look how the comment looks like. So I want to remove these 2 child comments. So we don't want these child comments for now. So let's remove it. As you can see, we have child comments 1 here. Remove it. We also have child comments 2 here. Remove it. And once it's gone, I think we are going to work with, I don't know the one. Okay, I think I prefer to work with this. Let me comment one of these out to the browser. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, now so we have just one of it now. So over here, I'll just use the for loop like I did before. I'll say for. I'll say for comments in comments. Remember, this comments we are referring to is coming from our views is coming from here, this comment, and this comment is made accessible because of it was passed to this context, and after that we have to pass our context to the return command. Understand? So this comment that's being referred to is this key, you understand, and not this value. You get? Okay, so I'll say for comments in comments, so I'm going to cut this guy, Ctrl X, and I'll paste it in between inside of the for loop. So this for loop is not going to give us, it's going to help us generate the number of comments, generate more divs. It's going to help us generate more of these divs based on the number of comments we have in our database. If I refresh this page now, currently under full stack development there is no comments. If I go down to the backend developments, you can see now we have two of these guys. We have two now. That's because we have two comments. So you can come over here and say comment dot description, and then refresh. You can see this, you can see these are the comments we use in the back end. We're not done yet, so I'm going to simply add a space. Yeah, this break space there. Refresh. Okay, now there's space in between. So right now our comments are coming from our Django admin. So we want to be able to add comment from this form. So let's connect that right away. Okay, so right now let's add comments from the front end, from this form. Once we do that now, go down to your code base. Inside of your app, create a new file, and this file, we're going to call this file form.py. A new file. I'm calling this file forms.py. Okay, now so open this file. Now I'm going to say from Django import forms. Now I'm going to say from Django.forms okay, I think we need, okay, that's fine. Now we're going to import, I'm going to say from .models import comments. So now I'm going to come over here and say class, I'm going to say comment form. And I'm going to inherit from forms.ModelForm. I'm now going to say class meta, the class meta now. I'm going to say the model should be equal to the comment, and the field should be equal to, I'm going to just say description. Yeah, okay, so we've gotten this right now. So right now, once we've done this, the next thing to do now is we need to import this comment form into our view, into the view.py. I'm going to then say from .forms import comment form. Okay, so now inside here we're going to say, instead of our detail page, remember this is happening in the detail page, I'm going to just say, so right now I'm going to say form should be equal to comment form. So now right now this is a get request. This should be just called, this should be under comment, it should be before the context. Now I'm going to say form should be equal to comment form. So right now this is a get request happening. So this form is just simply rendering out our comment form. So I'm going to pass this form into the context. So I'm just going to say form. So what's happening now is simply a get request. I'm just going to say form here. So it's called form. So now I'm going to go down to my detail.html where we have that input field. Okay. Okay, I think it's around here. Okay, it's just here. So now Okay, I will simply replace this text area. I think we have a lot of commented stuff here. I'll simply remove everything. Okay, now so this right now, this is, I just commented that the text area that was there before, the text area that was there before, I had to comment it out. So right now I'm going to use the form from Django now, the form that, sorry, not that form, put in the curly braces and then say form. So you have this form now. I'm also going to put in a submit button. Where does this form end? Okay, I think we've made a mistake somewhere. I'm looking for the ending part of this form. Okay, I can see where it ends. It ended here. Let me just cut and paste down here. So let's see our form. Let's see how it looks like. If we refresh now, it's going to look so ugly. Let's see. Our form is looking ugly. This is not what we want. So I could just say form.description. Okay, yeah, for now it's looking ugly. So how do we style this form? Remember, this form here, it has a class called form control. This text area you see here, we also have a text area here, but our own is not beautiful. We check closely, this text area also has a class called form control. So we need to apply this class to this our form to make it look fine. So we are going to go down to our forms.py now. I'm going to say description should be equal to forms dot text field, and I'm then going to say, then we are going to say widgets should be equal to forms dot text area, and then we're going to pass these attributes, and then we're going to simply just say class should be form control. Okay, let's see, down to that detail page now. So we're going to say form.description. Okay, if I refresh this page, refresh. Ouch, server is coming back up. Let's give it some time. I think there is an error somewhere. Okay, say form has no attributes text field. So let's use the char field instead. Char field, forms of char field now to the browser, refresh. Okay, now you can see our form is looking quite good, but it's so big, it's just too big. It's just, okay, we can, okay, let me see if I can adjust it. Let's see what we have there before. Okay, the rows is 3. Let's just copy this rows, Ctrl C, go down to your forms.py. I will simply come over there. I will paste this with a comma, separate with a comma. We're going to call this rows. It should be okay. The browser, refresh. Okay, better now. So I'm going to also add a placeholder for this form over here. I'm going to say placeholder. And I'll say leave a comment. Leave a comment. Let me just copy what was there before. What we had there before was this. Join the discussion and leave a comment. I'm going to copy this and I'll paste it here for the placeholder. Okay, I think we've made some change, we've made some progress. Okay, to the browser, refresh. Okay, our form is looking good again. One more thing. Let's add a submit button to the form. Okay, just here I'm going to say button. I'm going to create a class of, I'm going to say class should be equal to btn lg and then btn primary. To the browser, I'll say over here submit to the browser fresh. It's not long enough. I'm going to remove this LG and I'm going to add a class. I'm going to just say style. Now say the width should be 100%. Perfect. So now let me just add a line break BR. Okay. So currently now we just worked on the get request. We just simply work on the get request. So once we work on the post request, whenever someone enters their comments like good content and they click on submit, we want to make sure that this comment gets submitted. Understand? So how do we do that? Go down to your views.py. So we're going to listen for a post request. We're going to say if request.method is equal to posts. Okay, now so we're going to say form should be equal to comment form, and we're going to say request.post. So this one up here, request.post, should be in capital letter. So what we have here is simply what I said before, a get request. It simply renders out the empty form. So now for this post request, now we are simply checking the form now. This time this form has some data, and this data is the request of post. This data is what we are going to submit to the back to our server. Understand? This data you see there, how the request of post is. So I'm going to say if the form is valid, if form is valid. We are checking if the form is valid before we can save. If the form is valid, then we are going to simply say form dot save. Well, so right now we're not going to save yet. So I'm just going to over here. I'm going to say I'm not going to save yet. I'm going to say commit should be equal to false. Should be equal to false because I'm not saving yet. And then I'm going to simply just say comment should be equal to this. Comment should be equal to the content of our form. This is the comment here. So now once I've done this, now I'm going to then say comment dot post should be equal to this blog we have here. Understand? So it's going to be comment dot blog. Understand? Not post. Going to be comment.blog. So I'm trying to what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to link this comment to its actual blog. You understand? So right here we tried saving our comment, but not yet. We want to like link the comments to the actual blog it belongs to. So I'm going to say comment.blog should be this blog we have up here. Should be equal to blog. Understand? Then we're going to say comment dot save, and then we're going to simply redirect. I'm going to say return redirect index. That's the not index. Okay, I think once we've done this now, comment dot save. I think we are fine there. Okay, I think we are good now. Before we proceed now, so this is going to save our comment. So now right now, let me explain again. This is a post request. So this form now, right now, is carrying some data, and over here we check if the form is valid. If the form is valid, we tried saving the form, but not yet. We have to assign this form.save to a comment, to a newly created comment, and then we have to get the blog this comment belongs to. And luckily for us, the blog is up here. And after we got the blog, we then had to save everything. Comment.save. Once we've done this now, go down to your detail.html. This is our form here. We're going to say method should be equal to posts. and we're going to simply add a CSRF token. So whenever you're using a post request, you must always add your CSRF token. It's important to your form. CSRF underscore token is super important. So now, so the browser, hope everything works, refresh. So I'm going to say great content. I'm trying to comment on the blog post. Once I click on submit, let's see, you can see now we have great content over here. So that is fine, that is great. Okay, once we've done this now, what's the next thing? We go down to the, let's comment under full stack development. I'm gonna say I love this content. I love this content. Click on submit. Wow, you can see it's being added. But if we check closely now, I don't want this to, I want the form to be empty once we try submitting the form. Right now the form is not empty, so this is how we're going to fix this. Now I'm going to say go down to your views. I'm going to just come here and say return redirect. So I'm going to redirect back to the detail page. I'm going to say detail, and then the slug should be equal to blog.slug. So let's see if everything works this time. Blog.slug. And now this we need to import a direct on top. Just from Django just shortcut, you can also find the direct there. You can find the direct here. So scroll down here. Okay, now so this detail you see here is referring to this. Where's the URL? Referring to this URL, detail page URL. You understand? And because of we have this slug over here, that's why we also have to put a slug here again. We also have to pass in the slug here. You understand? We also did that in the index.html because there is a slug in the URL. That's why we also have to pass in the slug here also. You understand? So I think it should work now. Refresh. Alright, now I'm going to say I'm so happy to be honest. I'm so happy for this. And click on submit. Scroll down. Perfect. You can see the form is now empty, and our comments are adding up perfectly. So I think I'm going to stop here. The tutorial is already too long. You understand? So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to drop the source code for you guys on GitHub. I'm going to also link the source code in this video's description. I'm sure you've gained some value. I'm super sure of that. So if you did gain some value, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and you can also drop some comments for me. I'll drop some comments for me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay, I think we'll be able to build a blog. So if you're a beginner, this tutorial is going to be of great help to you. Thank you for watching. So we'll meet in the next video. So stay blessed and bye bye.